One of my favorite food to eat is risotto. It's an Italian food. It's an Italian dish that I love to do, and it's so comforting and warming. And I'm gonna show you one of my recipes. So my name is Fritz and welcome to my kitchen. So, first things first, we're gonna start by warming up our chicken stock for this recipe. First things first, we're gonna warm this chicken stock, and then we're gonna saute our Italian sausage. I'm gonna make an Italian sausage with fennel. I think it's gonna go very well. Usually they put fennel within the Italian sausages, fennel seeds or powdered fennel, ground fennel. So we're gonna start with that. You do you at your house. If you want to put chorizo, go ahead. If you want to put some type of whatever sausage you like, the choice is yours. I'm going with a mild Italian sausage. And we're gonna start it off in a medium-high heat. I start in a cold pan. You want to let the natural fat of the sausage leak out, and it's gonna give you that fat content. Once it starts leaking out, now I'm gonna add a little bit more fat because I want it to be bathing in olive oil. It's gonna bind the fennel and the shallots, everything together. And then once everything is nice and sweated out, we're gonna add garlic. And then the other steps with white wine and the chicken stock. So as this is starting to brown, our chicken stock is gonna start heating up. And the reason why you wanna do that is when we pour the stock in the rice, the rice grains are gonna cook evenly. The rice grains are gonna cook evenly, so it's gonna be perfect. And yeah, so let's start by cooking this. So while this is going, we're gonna chop up our vegetables. I have fennel here. Gonna slice just a little piece. You can do whatever sizes you want. We can go with little small bites like this, or we can go with nice long slices of fennel. It's as you wish. It depends on the texture you're looking for. I kind of want the fennel to disappear a little within the risotto, so we're gonna cook it nice and small. Chop that nice and finely. And we're gonna add it right away so we can start cooking. Now you see the sausage is starting to release its fat. So we're gonna cook our vegetables within that fat. And yes, I took out my wooden spoon to make my Italian risotto. I've seen a lot of people comment that they want the they want the wooden spoon to cook risotto. I'm sticking to the traditional stuff. A little respect to the creators of this beautiful Italian staple. So we're gonna cook this. We're gonna chop up some shallots. I think one shallot should be enough. You know, the reason I'm using shallots versus onions, I like the sweetness that it adds, the flavor profile that it adds to the dish. You could easily use white onion or even red onions, but for this, I think shallots are good. It's a good way to go. Cut it in 3 like so. You know, this food it's such a good dish to have and share with people you love. You know, on the table with friends and family, having a nice glass of wine. And for a dish like that, you would like, since it's very simple, you want to use a nice wine to be able to drink, but to be able to use that same wine in there, you know? That's the thing with Italian cuisine. 75 to 80% of the success of your meal, your dish, your recipe, especially for Italian cuisine, you want to use quality ingredients because it's a very simple. It's simple. It's nothing complicated. It's very straightforward usually. So you want to use quality ingredients. A bit of shallots. I have some nice Quebec garlic. It's still a little bit humid, so you know it's nice and fresh and all the goodies. Thinly sliced. One clove is more than enough, I think. It's gonna add that beautiful garlicky sweetness to the dish. Beautiful. You see how it's starting to caramelize on the bottom of the pan and it's starting to give out those sugars. All of this is flavor. Right now you're marinating flavor. You're bringing everything together. You're binding everything and it's gonna be so good, so good. Before I add the rice, some leek, a little bit of leek. The leek adds a little layer of flavor to that, which I find really interesting. Some sweetness, some earthiness. And for instance, while you're cooking this, if you see the bottom of your pan is starting to caramelize a lot, not burning, but caramelize a lot, you can always come and add a little bit of water just to deglaze that. Just a little splash of water, just to unstick everything so it doesn't burn. But everything we're unsticking right now is the flavor, is your risotto flavor right there. We're taking it out. Look at that, so beautiful. Now let's add some risotto. Beautiful. You don't want to add too much, but I think about this, it's good for like 2 people. Even if you're alone and you're doing it, do more because it's so good to heat up. And at the end of the day, if you have a little bit, you put it together in a little ball, bread it, and you make arancini. So while this is sweating out, our stock is boiling right now and nice and hot, so I'm gonna put it on low. I'm gonna add my white wine. A little bit more. Now we put this on max to reduce that white wine. And while it's reducing, you want to go and scratch the bottom of the pan and get those flavors. Color is flavor. Don't forget that. And 99% of the time, color is flavor. You want to reduce that wine. The rice itself is going to soak up the juices. Beautiful. Let's season with a little pinch of salt, little pepper, and usually Italian use chili flakes or fresh chili. I like to use chili paste, sambal to be precise, just a little bit, not with the knife, just a little bit of sambal to give it a little kick. You could skip that step and buy hot Italian sausage, but sambal gives it a different flavor profile that you wouldn't expect. So at this point, everyone is nice and married. We're gonna take the chicken stock and we're gonna add it to the risotto. And every time it soaks everything in, we're gonna, you know, add a little bit more and a little bit more until the rice is nice and cooked. That step should take about 5 to 10 minutes. So I'm gonna do that and then we'll come back to finish up the risotto. So 10 minutes later, I have that beautiful risotto that I've been stirring constantly. The more you stir your risotto, the more starch comes out, the more creamy it becomes. So as we're doing this, we're starting to get ready to finish up our risotto with some unsalted butter, very important, and some Parmigiano Reggiano. Stir, stir, stir. You want to taste it a little bit right now, just to see if the rice is ready. It's al dente, but there's still a rotty crunch to it, so it's gonna take a few, maybe one more minute, max, a few seconds actually. When you cook a risotto, you want to be able to have it al dente without it being crunchy. It needs to have a resistance, a bite to it, not mushy. Very important. Beautiful. So now, see, I'm starting to have that beautiful texture. You can see the rice is nice and puffy. The juice is nice and reduced. Flavor concentrating. At this step, you want to be able to tell yourself, maybe you're going to tell yourself, oh, it's missing salt. Don't add salt yet, because Parm is naturally a salty cheese. So when you add it, you might add too much salt. So you want to put your Parm, and then at the end, you readjust with either more Parm or a little bit more salt. Look at that. I'm just gonna bump up the fire, the heat, just to have it reduce a little bit more. Beautiful. Now at this step, when you add your butter, turn off your heat. Turn off your heat because you don't want your butter to separate, to break, and break it off in there. Pam, pam, pam. There's never too much butter. Butter is flavor. Butter is love. Fat. It's all about the fat. It's flavor. I have Milna behind the camera. She's laughing her ass off. It's all about fat, flavor. So butter it up. And the fat content within that risotto is gonna allow the Parm to emulsify and become creamy. But if you put it on the heat while it's still bubbling, the cheese itself, what it's gonna do, it's gonna clump up. So you're gonna have pieces of Parm. It's not gonna be bad, but it's not gonna be ultimately creamy. So you add your butter, let it melt slowly outside the heat. And now you add your Parmigiano. Look at that, a little bit everywhere. And yes, there is such a thing. Usually I would be saying the opposite, but there is such a thing of too much Parm, but you know, you do you. The sound. The sound can be exciting or disturbing. I like to think exciting, but this right now is beautiful. You see how creamy it's becoming? Let me put it on top of the camera here so you can see. let it sploosh everywhere. It's fine. It's part of the beauty of this dish. So let's give it a little taste. Very nice. I would add to a little bit more parm. Right there. And I would love to finish it with a little bit of parsley for some freshness. You can add basil too. But I think parsley is gonna work very well. In here. Beautiful. And finish this up. Look at that. If you can't do that, it's gonna sploosh everywhere. Take your spoon and stir as you're shaking your pan front and back. Okay, you're doing this front and back, and you're doing a turn. Beautiful. Look at that, nice and creamy, beautiful risotto. Now we're gonna take this and this out of the way. Clean the table a little bit, just a little bit. So now we're gonna plate our risotto. We're gonna take this and we're gonna add this beautiful risotto. Look at that. On top of the plate. A little beautiful mountain. Depending on the person, there are some people that prefer their risotto more loose. You can just add a little touch of salt. Or if you wanted more concentrate, you let it reduce a little bit more. I think this type of consistency is beautiful. Take this beautiful plate of risotto. You tap it to have it evenly spread everywhere. And then you can finish it with a little bit of parm on top. Little bit of fresh black pepper. Little touch of good quality olive oil. Olive oil and fennel goes very well. And you could even bring it a little bit further and add a little touch of orange zest. So if I could find my zester, there you are. So let's add a little touch of orange zest on top. Like so. Beautiful. A little fennel stem, just for decor. And there you go. Here you go, everyone. A nice, beautiful sausage and fennel risotto, finished with a little bit of orange zest. It's amazing. I'm gonna have my guys do a little close-up, and then we're gonna be tasting it. It's time to taste it. Taste test. Look at that. Beautiful piece of sausage and risotto. Oh, this is there's a lot going on. The creaminess, the sausage, the pop of that orange zest at the end, completely optional, but worth it. That risotto is nice and cooked, juicy. I feel like everybody should at least try this recipe once and have fun with it. Have fun with it. You don't have to do the exact same recipe, but a good guideline. And I wish you all bon appetit and have fun. Enjoy. Have a good one. See you next video.